you all know, the Indian space program was started almost 63 years back. 1962, the program was started. And 1963, November 21st was the major milestone for us. We had the first tiny rocket launch from Indian soil. The tiny rocket was donated by none other than US, a small rocket. And the payload called a sodium vapor lamp, that was again donated by France. And the entire thing was assembled in Indian soil and launched. That time, if you see, we were just 70 years behind advanced countries. From that humble beginning, we moved to the next step. 50 years back, August 1st, 1975 was another important, remarkable area in India. For the first time, a mass communication was demonstrated, keeping 2,400 television sets in 6 states of India, 2,400 villages, and a satellite signal was required to demonstrate mass communication. Again, the satellite signal was given by ATS-6 satellite of USA. And ISRO was formed 1969, August 15. That time, already Yuri Gagarin, 1961 itself, he was sent to space, brought back safely. 1969 was a very important year. Scientifically, man landed on the moon and came back. From that humble starting. So that is the growth of ISRO. Now today, to be frank, for demonstrating the capability of satellite technology or satellite usage, we used to jovially tell, better to switch off all satellites for 4 hours evening. Then nothing will happen, no transaction, no mobile connectivity, and border safety, everything will be in trouble. No telecommunication, television broadcasting, everything will come to a standstill. So that is the place we have reached. And in fact, Indian space program is doing lot of service to the common man of Bharat.
So I think it's more about the culture ISRO has imbibed. One myth about, I think, rocket science is that people think it's only people who are the brainiacs or the geniuses who are working there, but that's not true. I think that's not totally true. There are geniuses, but I think it's more about hard work and, you said, resilience and perfection. Perfection. Yes, these are things which are important, I think, for any space agency, not just ISRO. Talking about ISRO culture, what I've seen is anyone who's joined ISRO, and if he has an opinion, however young he is or however old he is, he can stand up and speak in a review. And even if it's Chairman ISRO who's chairing that or a director of a center, he would listen to him. So everybody's opinions matter. And even if, in fact, the navigation guidance and control, that's the entire software which does the landing, that was done by a very young team. Maybe they are in their 30s. Coming to the R&D part, I think we are mostly self-sufficient. So the things that we want to do, many times, till now it's been so, a lot of development is done in-house. But now, of course, government, in order to bring in more private players and industries, government has asked ISRO to handhold, and you will have a lot of, so that more people can get involved and we can have more satellites. So the assets we have today is not really sufficient, even though we are doing some very special missions. But if you look at the country's needs today, we just don't have enough satellites. So unless you bring more people together, the private people, the industry, it's not going to happen. Yeah. So coming back to ISRO culture, I think this is one important thing. So did a lot of things on its own, and right from the Aryabhatta days, even when we launch a satellite, there's a lot of things we carry over from one satellite to the other. So it's not really that we made a Chandrayaan and Chandrayaan was totally new. There were a lot of things about Chandrayaan which came from Mangalyaan. Yeah. So the experience actually goes forward. Yeah. So that's something I think which works in our favor, and because a lot of it is indigenous. With the new space policy, we have an organization called InSpace. Yes. So they are going to talk to all the startups, and they're going to help them. And they'll also collaborate with ISRO to see how much of ISRO's facilities can be used by these private players and how much of ISRO's experience can be shared with them. So we do need young people, we do need all these startups to start building satellites, building rockets. But space is an expensive affair, and failures can really hurt, and especially if it's a private industries, it can really cost you a lot. We've seen that with SpaceX stories many times. We've heard about Elon Musk going bankrupt, but then sticking on, and today we see the difference. So it is not a very easy task. It's something that's going to come with good amount of failures, good amount of tears.
We have got lot of setbacks. We don't consider, I was very carefully using a word called setback. I never told it is a failure. No failure. In a R&D activity like this, we don't consider anything as a failure. Everything is a great learning.
Absolutely.
And we have become highly knowledgeable, matured in learning. And we take it like that. And we move forward. And not only Chandrayaan 2, there were in the initial phase, rockets used to fail a lot of time. And there is a name, our first satellite launch vehicle is called SLV-3. I don't know, have you heard about SLV-3?
Yes.
ASLV. And there is also a nickname for that. First there was a failure and people gave a name called Sea Landing Vehicle. Because it could not accomplish its mission. Then we moved to the second rocket called ASLV and we had some setbacks. And ASLV people used to call sometime always sea landing vehicle. But then it was a great learning from these two vehicles, and today the last Bahubali rocket Mark 3, 7 launches, all 7 successful launches. Wonderful. And placing Chandrayaan 2, Chandrayaan 3, all the things in the orbit. The next 20 years interplanetary thing, we have got lot of target set. We are having accomplished Chandrayaan 3, we are going to have a Chandrayaan 4 mission. Chandrayaan 3 was a soft landing mission. Chandrayaan 4, we are going to soft land and take sample and bring back. So it's a sample return mission. Wonderful. And there is a saying, strength respects to strength. When Chandrayaan 3 was successful, Japan wanted to collaborate with us for a Chandrayaan mission.
The target is to send a man around the Earth. Send him to space. Yeah, send him to space and get him back safely. That's the first target. So that mission is called Gaganyaan. The astronauts have been identified, they're all getting trained. Wow. So that mission would go into a suborbital, it will go a few kilometers high, and the system will trigger an abort. Like in case, in the actual mission there's an abort for some reason. Yeah. So then this module will come out and then land safely on the sea. And then there'll be parachutes that will be opening and then it'll float on the sea. I think there'll be a couple of unmanned missions, very similar to the manned flight. And after that is going to be a manned flight. So it's called Aditya. So it's not actually going to the sun. It's just going to 1% of the distance between the Earth and the sun. It's called a Lagrange point. So that point is really special because the gravitational force of the Earth and the sun gets nullified. Wow. And it's a stable point. So if a satellite reaches there, it gets into a halo orbit. It's not a closed orbit, it's a halo. It gets into the halo, but the advantage with that point is it can constantly look at the sun.
Actually, the entire credit should go to Honorable Prime Minister. I am not talking anything else. And Prime Minister, he visioned and rolled out the space sector reform. Because when he was the even Gujarat CM, he understands application of space area, how much it can be useful. So when he became Prime Minister, he has done a lot of things, and this is one of the things. And 10 years back, hardly 3-4 startup companies were there. Today, 300 plus startup companies are working in all the areas. Launch vehicle building, satellite building, data decybering and rolling out, and infrastructure build-up. So thereby, when we talk about a Viksit Bharat 2047, and if the India has to become a developed country, I want to summarize the entire space activities. The activity which started with the bullock cart and bicycle by 2040, based on the direction and roadmap given by Honorable Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi ji, ISRO will be and India will be in par with any other spacefaring nation which was 70 years advanced to us. in par with them by 2040, in par in terms of launcher, in terms of satellite, in terms of application. 2040, Indian will land on the moon with the Indian national flag and announce that, dear brothers, in another few years, India will become a developed country. This is what will be the announcement, which will be made from where? From moon. There are a lot of opportunities for the Indian industry, startup companies and academia to contribute in multiple areas. When you talk about artificial intelligence, you talk about data management, you talk about quantum communication, you talk about interplanetary mission, you talk about application oriented, you talk about food security area, you talk about water security. Every area you can contribute and contribute through the space program. There should not be any gap between space and common man of this country. And to do that, the industries can contribute in a very big way.